Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you follow me on Snapchat, Facebook, Instagram or Twitter, you'll know that I am not long back from a week-long trip to Malaga in Spain. To cut a long story short, we were booked and due to go to Rhodes in Greece. However, on the day we were due to travel, we discovered there was an air traffic control strike in Greece which cancelled our flights, so there was a mad scramble online to find another trip that could replace it with the same dates, and Malaga popped up. My reaction when I discovered we were going to Malaga, I was excited because I was still getting away obviously, but I did have expectations in my head of it being maybe a tacky beach holiday, expensive, mediocre weather given the time of year we'd be travelling there, maybe very touristy, very tourist trap, and just maybe overall not as cultured and refined as Rhodes might have been. And let me tell you, I could not have been further from the truth. Malaga is a Spanish city on the southern coast of Spain on the Mediterranean. It is a city that's full of culture, full of sights, full of history, full of lots of things to do. It has good weather and it's very reasonably priced, and it's definitely not a tourist trap. It's not tacky, it's not wild, it's actually quite relaxed, chilled, and it's kind of like a hybrid between a sun holiday and a city break. Now, the way I got there was a little more complicated than just one flight. I was travelling with a friend that lives in the UK, so I flew over to the UK with Ryanair, and from the UK we flew with EasyJet to Malaga, getting home basically the same thing but the other way around. Ryanair, as always, a dream to fly with. I know I go on about them a lot that I really love them, but they've never done me wrong and I've never any reasons to give out about them, so I love Ryanair. EasyJet was a little bit more of a stressful experience. They weren't as friendly, they just really wanted to cart you onto the plane and cart you off, and I ended up having to check my cabin bag on the way home because, long story short, they wouldn't, my small backpack wouldn't fit into the bag, so they made me check it on. €60, don't want to talk about it, still a little bit bitter over it. So yeah, Ryanair thumbs up and EasyJet kind of like this. When it comes to the hotel, because we booked on I think lastminute.com or one of those websites, and beggars can't be choosers when we've only 3 hours left of travelling, we were given a hotel that was a little bit outside Malaga. I'll get more into that now in a second. We stayed in the Vinci Hotel. A lot of people were asking me on my Snapchat what hotel it was because it looked fab and the food looked good, the room looked lovely and modern, the view from the windows was fab, and that is all true. However, the hotel is almost a 5-kilometre walk from the centre of Malaga. It's over on the west side, which is more industrial, and there's nothing really around it. Like a pharmacy and a supermarket is basically all that's nearby. And we found ourselves covering a lot of ground just walking in and out from the centro. Now, the walk in and out is on a promenade, so it could be a lot worse. It's a promenade along a stony beach, so it's actually quite a nice walk, but by the end we were like, oh yeah, we're officially sick of this walk. If you can imagine walking 10 kilometres, sometimes 20 kilometres every single day, you get pretty sick of it. But as I said, the hotel was fab, clean, modern. It was a 4-star hotel. The staff were really friendly, really nice. Food was very good in the restaurant. The breakfast was a really good spread. Our room rate didn't include breakfast, so we ended up having to pay the bones of I think €15 each every time we chose to have breakfast, which is a lot of money for a bit of fruit, but you know what, for the handiness of it, I just said, oh feck it, we'll just get the breakfast. If walking is your thing and you really like going for nice strolls along the promenade, maybe that hotel would be ideal for you. Also, the hotel doesn't have a pool, so if you plan on spending time lounging by the pool, again, probably a different hotel might be better. If a hotel 5 kilometres out doesn't suit you, I would just use TripAdvisor. TripAdvisor has never really seen me wrong when it comes to hotels, so I just use TripAdvisor and try find one in your budget with your preferences on there. And if you have been following me on Snapchat for the last week or so, you'll know of the little experience we had in the hotel with our rather noisy neighbours. Luckily, they only stayed one night and left the following morning. The food selection in Malaga is very, very good. There are restaurants absolutely everywhere, and there's a lot of Spanish in the restaurants, so it's not all tourist trappy kind of restaurants. As a vegan who doesn't eat salads, it was a little bit difficult to find somewhere a vegan and a non-vegan can eat, but we managed to find somewhere every single night and everything worked out in that regard. If you are vegan or vegetarian, there are 4 or 5 really nice vegetarian restaurants there with plenty of vegan options, so That's always good to know. If you do end up going to Malaga, I would suggest one little area to avoid, and that is on the marina, the main marina. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful walk up and down and all the stalls, but there's also like a promenade of restaurants, I guess you could say. Loads and loads of restaurants, and there are three, one beside the other. There's an Indian, a Mexican and a Greek restaurant, and for all intents and purposes they look like different restaurants. However, when we inquired further, they actually all are the same establishment, the same kitchen. So if you're in a party of however many and everyone wants to order from different menus, that is a-okay. So that I thought that was perfect for me, because being vegan, Indian and Mexican food is usually pretty easy for me, and my friend really likes Greek food, so we were like, hallelujah, this is brilliant. But our dining experience there was not good. The waitress didn't understand what vegan meant, so we had to explain it, and when we did, she looked really just pissed off. She had to go into the chef and come back about 3 or 4 times asking about different options, and eventually she said that there were no options for me because everything is marinated in cheese. Eventually, with a bit of persuasion, I convinced them to cook me some couscous and some roasted vegetables, which I paid €20 for, but we won't go there. And my friend ordered her main at the same time as I ordered mine. My food was put in front of me within a couple of minutes. I had finished, and then 20 minutes later, after I finished, my friend got hers. Not ideal, bad service, and the one time we actually didn't tip because it was so bad. So if you see that trio of restaurants on the marina, avoid. When it comes to excursions, we only really did one proper excursion, and that was to the town of Ronda, which is about 2 hours on a train away from Malaga, which sounds like a lot, but trust me, the train journey flies by because the scenery is just stunning. You're going through the Spanish countrysides, you see the little meandering rivers and lakes. It's absolutely beautiful. The train takes you from Malaga train station to Ronda train station. As I said, it's just under 2 hours long, and it costs €11 and change per person each way, so €23 return, which isn't bad at all. Ronda is actually where the Beckhams go to holiday, which is cool to know. It's one of those really relaxing towns. You go there to just meander and walk around. You're not there to power through and to see as many sights as quickly as you can. You go to the tourist information centre, you get yourself a map, you mark out what you'd like to see, and you just ramble till you get to all of them. Literally, we spent maybe 4 hours there, and we just lazed around. We saw the few little things we wanted to see, like the bridge in Ronda, gorgeous, the view over the countryside, stunning, and we just chilled out in a coffee shop. It was just a nice relaxed day, and the weather was gorgeous too, so really nice experience going to Ronda. There are of course other excursions, like going to Seville, I never know how to pronounce that, Seville, which is famous for its oranges. You can go to Fuengirola, gorgeous beaches. You can go to Marbella. So yeah, but they're all meant to be fab. We also walked to the top of the fort in Malaga. If you go to Malaga, you won't be able to miss the fort. It's right there, you can't miss it. So we decided to walk over to the other side of the underpass and walk up that way. It's quite a hefty walk. You're going up a lot of steps, and after the steps it's a very steep marble, not smart, descent up to a viewing point of the entire city of Malaga. It's stunning. Now my heart was thumping by the end of it, but stunning. Wear good grippy shoes. While in Malaga city itself, there are various tour options. You can choose to take an open top, hop on, hop off bus tour. You can do a Segway tour. You can do a walking tour. But what we chose for us was a bike tour with Malaga Bike Tours by Kay Farrell. I linked them down below. Highly recommend them. I found them on TripAdvisor. They got amazing reviews. So I said, feck it, we'll go with those. It's a 4-hour tour that leaves at 10 AM from the centre, which is the bike shop. You go in, you pick your bike, and you pay your €20. It's €20 per person. You leave at 10 AM and you're back at about 1:30 or 2 in the afternoon. On the bike tour, you're cycling through the streets of Malaga. It's actually idyllic. It's unbelievable. You go down the promenade. You get to see parts of Malaga that you probably wouldn't have found otherwise. Cycling through lovely tropical gardens. And you might be thinking, oh god, that's an awful lot of cycling. We were worried too, because neither of us had been on bikes in years and years and years. But trust me, in total we probably did about 5 or 6 kilometers. So it's entirely doable and very normal paced. You don't have to be an athlete to keep up. Entry to the cathedral in Malaga is free on Sundays only. Any other day you have to pay. So if you go in on a Sunday, you can catch some mass and have a look around the cathedral. It's so impressive. It's absolutely gorgeous. Well worth a look. The only sort of downside to the bike tour was that it can be a little bit stressful trying to navigate around people on the promenade. We went on a Sunday, so the promenade was thronged with people, but as long as you kind of keep to a slow pace, it's entirely doable. The weather was really nice. Even though rain was forecasted for a couple of days, it never actually came, which is good. It went overcast for a little while, but it never actually rained. It was a little bit nippy in the morning time, so I would find myself wearing a zip up during the morning, and then in the evenings too at about 5:30 or 6 the weather seemed to turn just like that, just got cold. Whereas in the thick of the day, in the centre of the day, it was nice, maybe t-shirt and 3/4 length pants kind of weather. I've heard it gets very, very hot in the summer, and I would expect that to be the case because it's right on the Mediterranean. In summary, I would thoroughly recommend you visit Malaga. After seeing my snaps, a lot of people were actually snapping me saying that even though Malaga wasn't any place that was ever on their travel radar, that it now is, because it seems like such a gorgeous, gorgeous place to visit. And I'm really glad that my snaps could influence some people to maybe see somewhere they never thought they would. Flights can be gotten there for relatively reasonably. I was just checking online there. On the Ryanair website you can get like flights there return for like €160, which isn't bad at all, and I'm sure if you keep an eye on the Ryanair sale you could probably get them even cheaper than that. As with any city break, being able to walk a bit is obviously beneficial. You can't bus it everywhere because a lot of the streets are pedestrianised, so I would recommend that you are somewhat able-bodied, but you don't have to be an athlete or mega fit either. I don't often say this about destinations, but Malaga would be somewhere I would actually return to. Definitely, and I never ever say that because usually when I've done a destination it's tick right on to the next one, but I really liked Malaga and it kind of stole a little piece of my heart. Really liked it. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps me know what videos are popular, what to kind of keep doing, what to not do. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you in my next video. Bye!